hype?
That's a good question. When it first came out, I remember seeing Billy Graham, the promoter, on Tom Snyder's show, and he was saying, in his mind, it was all just contrived by the media. It was almost totally hype. But he's been proven wrong. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. A lot of it is bandwagoning, and there's a lot of bands now especially that are getting into the new wave thing. They're cutting their hair, they're playing those shorter pop songs to try and, you know, ride the wave right now, which is, you know, a lot of bands are doing it, and you can kind of tell the ones that really are into it and the ones that are just kind of doing it to try and get a cheap shot into getting a contract.
But that's kind of phony. They're jumping on the bandwagon. They're getting all these bands from, say, LA that look like the Knack and wear skinny ties. I mean, I don't know how many bands, records we've gotten in, are bands the something, and they've got skinny ties and they're from LA and they're supposedly new wave, but like Dave was saying the other day, all these ex-hippies have new wave clothes on, and they're like 38 years old. It's just they're jumping on the bandwagon. It's not the real thing that's happening. It's not the real groundswell.
If there is a real groundswell, the place to find it is in the clubs. In the Detroit area, the longest-running club for new wave is Bookies. In the past year, there has been less emphasis on outrageous new wave costumes and less of a push to narrowly define new wave bands. Vince Bannon went to high school in Windsor and now finds himself at the center of new wave in Detroit.
They'll be playing with the Police down at Masonic, November the 23rd. I do have a few good seats left, not like Masonic.
He books most of the bands at Bookies and most of the new wave bands that come to Detroit.
I think, well, see, it took some time building the audience at Bookies, but there is an audience in Detroit, and people want to see it. You know, it's not a big audience yet, but it's growing in Detroit. All we really lack is the support of, I say, the radio media.
At Bookies, the bands that play there, like Art in America, aren't always new wave.
Name is Shoshone.
Well, basically, I look for originality in music, and with the band that's playing tonight, one certain band you're talking about, Art in America, is an original band, and it's an original concept, and something that when I opened this club, that's what I was looking for in booking rock bands, not in categorizing saying that you must therefore be a new wave band or a punk rock band. But I'm open for, you know, any type of band that has that sort of originality going for it.
This is about the only club that you can do like original music and, you know, not be like a jukebox band and do top 40 songs. This is what we do, and this is about the only club we can do it in, and a few other clubs around town. I mean, it's not really new wave, but it's rock and roll.
Okay, so the new wave has sort of had a spin-off effect of helping you.
Yeah, exactly. New wave, it doesn't exactly mean a certain fastness or a certain style of playing anymore. It means basically original music. It means, in Detroit at least, it means the ability to come up and do your own material and not do top 40.
While new wave's biggest effect may be to open things up on a local level by giving bands that do their own material a place to play, it seems apparent that new wave will have difficulty surviving